Hi, good morning. Ed Bixby here from the Global Green Burial Alliance, and this is Spotlight Now. Today, I am with Michael and Stacy Watson, who are the owners of the Wooden Casket, a Kentucky proud business located in Tompkinsville, Kentucky. Michael and his wife Stacy were inspired to create their own casket business after Michael's father created caskets for himself and his wife. Specializing in wooden caskets, Michael and Stacy handcraft a wide range of eco-friendly burial products, from simple pine boxes to one-of-a-kind hemp wood caskets. All products are made in-house at their store in Tompkinsville, Kentucky. Welcome, Stacy and Michael.
Good morning.
Well, I'm glad to have you here. Let's start off with a few questions for the viewers to know a little bit about what you do. So, how did the wooden casket come to be? And I think we know a little bit, but we'd like to hear the story of why you created it.
Well, as you mentioned, we've done construction work all my life, and my dad, me and him worked together, and he had gotten disabled, and we had a small woodworking shop on his farm, and he had decided that he wanted to build his and my mom's caskets so that we would not have that expense. So over time, he had completed his and my mom's and just had them both stacked up on top of each other in the garage, covered up with some sheets. And I had started making a few on weekends and rainy days when I couldn't work on the job site. And I had 8 made and had them in a storage unit here in town. And we were driving down Main Street here and saw a for rent sign on the door of this building that we're in. And we stopped, made a phone call, made a deal with the lady over the phone, and moved in the next day. Moved all of our caskets that we had in, completed in the next day. And we've been here 5 years now.
Almost 6.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really great. And that's unique as well, because you don't see that too often, having like an actual place you can go visit, see, touch, feel. So I think that's wonderful for your community and for Kentucky, you know, for you to offer something like that. Tell us a little. Oh, go ahead.
We get to comment a lot. People walk in. We have visitors from other states. We have a Airbnb next door to us, and we get a lot of people from out of state, and they'll comment, "I've never seen anything like this before."
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, obviously, I can see a product behind you. You know, I'm sure they're fascinated, and it's great for business, no doubt about it. So, with that being said, tell us a little bit about the offerings and your process. Like, what does your production process look like, and how long does it usually take to make one of your caskets? And I know you have different offerings.
Yeah, I start off with raw lumber because this building has a basement in it, and I have it stacked full of rough sawn lumber. And also we offer the families the option of using their own lumber to build their casket. And we have some here in the store now that were pre-needs, where and there were family members, but they wanted to use their own lumber. So I went down to their farm, got their lumber, and built their caskets out of their own lumber. But the whole process from beginning to end with the rough sawn lumber, it takes me about a week to make a casket from start to finish.
Oh, okay. That's not bad. So, are you seeing a lot of interest when people come in? Like I guess the question that I've heard, and you probably have heard, is people are interested in buying one, but they don't know if they can buy it and store it, or what do you recommend in those situations?
Yeah, that's been one of the big drawbacks is storage. We do have one funeral home here in town that offers storage. If they do the pre-need with him, he's been real good to work with. He stores the casket for them. But we've had people who have, like my mom and dad, they store them in their garage or a basement or a barn, and just different options of wherever you can find storage. We joke around with people about our cedar ones that they would make a good cedar chest where they could just use it for a cedar chest.
Well, that would be a great use, and that would bring me to my next question, which would be very practical. So we know you've been up to making some special new products, including quilts. Maybe you can introduce the viewers to some of your unique offerings.
Yeah, on the we use quilts for the linings and the caskets. We have an inventory here of quilts that we keep in stock for people to choose from, but we also offer the family, if they have an heirloom, something of their own to bring in. And we've had a lot of interest in that. We actually had a quilt that was signed by University of Kentucky basketball players and coaches, and that we used for a lining in one. And it's just been, we've had camouflage for hunters. It's just, we offer them, we try to be as personal and as we can on everything.
A lot
Absolutely.
of families, when somebody's laying at their deathbed or something, they'll want to. They've took the quilt off of their bed that was their favorite quilt while they were laying there, washed it, and then they brought it to us to use in their final resting place because it was their favorite.
Absolutely. So it's very personalized, and I can appreciate that because I know a lot of my families do the same thing, and it's important for the viewers to know that these options exist. And I'm glad to hear you're doing that because that's caring for the people you're serving. So that's really a beautiful thing. Are your new products or any of your products available online, or where can viewers find them, or is this like solely in the store type of situation?
We have a Facebook and we have a website. The website is www.thewoodencasket.kentucky.com. You can go on there and you can view it. You can send me messages and stuff for the website. We also have a Facebook. It's the Wooden Casket. Type in Facebook, the Wooden Casket, and it should come up. I also offer personalization in form of a CNC and a laser. And I've been able to do, if somebody wanted to put something in the lid of the casket, a lot of times we'll take the quilt and kind of frame it around in a space, and then we'll take some lumber and maybe put a picture or a statement, or we had one veterinarian that was an Marine Corps veteran. So I took the Marine Corps symbol and the Army and the veterinarian symbol and put those in the lid with my.
Wow. No, that's great. That's what really makes it special. And I would imagine the majority of the time your products are like one of a kind once you get done with them after the personalization.
Every one is one of a kind because I make each one one piece at a time. And a lot of times the lumber depends on what I do and how it turns out from when I start, especially like the barn woods. I do one from actual lumber that is 150 year old that has been used on a barn and then taken off and repurposed. And the lumber a lot of times just depends on what I do and how I finish it.
I can imagine. Yeah, so everyone would be completely unique with the grain of the wood and so on and so forth.
Yeah, no two are ever alike.
Yeah, that's what makes it so beautiful. Is there any specific or personalized product that you've made that was particularly special to you? I mean, what was the fondest moment, let's say, since you've opened the Wooden Casket? Something you've designed or made? Is there something that sticks out?
I guess the hemp wood is probably the most unique because they make this hemp wood here in Murray, Kentucky, and it's the only place in the world that they make the hemp wood, and we are the only ones that have gotten lumber from them to make the hempwood caskets. So we know that we have the only hempwood caskets in the entire world here in our store.
Wow, that's incredible. That's really unique. That's something to see, I'm sure. So let me ask you this, because none of us are getting any younger, that's for sure, but we all enjoy what we do. So where do you see the Wooden Casket, say, in 5 years? Do you continue? Do you plan on creating any new products in the future, perhaps outside the caskets and urns, or do you plan on sticking with what you got?
We currently do a lot of basket bases. I have cousins that teach basket weaving, and we use our scrap lumber that we have left over to make the bases for them to weave their baskets off of. And here lately, that's been our predominant. They've really kept us busy with making bases. Our casket sales have been slower here in the last few months, and that has given us something to do. And once we use our scraps down to a certain point, we rip it up and glue it back together to make what they call a multicolored, where it's like 5 or 6 different types of wood that we glue together. We have done urns also with that, and then our scraps from that we take down to a local restaurant, pizza, and they use it for kindling for their pizza ovens. So the only thing we actually throw away is the dust from our sanders and saws.
Wow, that is what I call sustainable, no doubt. That's really great. It's a unique situation. I would encourage any of our viewers, if you're in the area down in Kentucky, go down and visit Michael and Stacy, because I think that you probably would never experience anything quite like it until you would go there. So I encourage anyone. Kentucky's a beautiful state, so make it part of your trip if you head down that way. Is there anything
on the uniqueness you mentioned earlier? We just finished one. It was a coffin instead of a casket. A gentleman had a picture of a barnwood coffin that he had seen. And that's one of the things that we can do if someone has an idea of their own or something like that that's different that they want to do. And we offer oversized caskets for the larger people. And one thing that we can do also, since I do make each casket individually, is if you have a very tall person, because your casket industry, their templates and everything are all set up for a 6'8" casket, and no one makes a length oversized casket. Where with me making the caskets, I can make them any size. It doesn't matter.
Absolutely. And I also want to make mention to the viewers as well that, of course, this is a beautiful natural burial product. It's acceptable for natural burial situations, but it can be used in any situation.
Yes.
So, that's important to know, because, I think what you said about the uniqueness, everyone being different, I think that's important for people to want to get what they would like to have, no matter what their choice would be, whether it be a traditional or even a cremation situation.
And we've gotten that a lot with especially older gentlemen who have wanted to go ahead and get their own casket so that their families don't have to deal with it. And they make the comment that this way I get what I want, and the family don't have to deal with it.
No, you're absolutely right. Well, Michael and Stacy, it was a pleasure to speak to you. Is there anything else you'd like the audience to know about what you do? Or I think we've covered a lot, but anything else for you guys?
Just contact us if you have an idea of something that you'd like, or come visit us. Like I said, we have a Airbnb next door to us. So, and that's one thing that I thought too, if someone wanted to like that, if they wanted to help to make their own, we have that facility next door to where if they wanted to come in, and because I work by myself, I'm here in the store, and if someone wanted to even actually work on their own, we would have that availability to let them help.
And that's great, because, I've met many people who come out and choose their own plot when they're actively in the process of dying, unfortunately, but that makes them feel really different about the whole experience. And I think that's something that is great and commendable. So I appreciate you, Michael and Stacy, for joining us. The audience can learn more about the Wooden Casket by visiting the Wooden Casket KY.com. And if you're down in Tompkinsville, Kentucky, take them up on their offer. I can only imagine it has to be beautiful. And if I'm ever down there myself, I'll visit with you guys. So thanks again for being on the spotlight today.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Till the next time, Ed Bixby from the Global Green Burial Alliance.